Next speaker is Laseur. Dylan is welcome, Dylan.
Hey, hello.
Dylan is Chief Growth Officer of Under Reality. He is joining us from Netherlands. I guess you are at the moment. You are in Netherlands, right?
Currently, I'm in Netherlands. Yeah.
Yeah, and he will be talking about the interaction of AI and Web3.
Yeah.
So Dylan, please.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've been doing these Web3 and Metaverse masterclasses a lot in the last few months, year, I would say. A lot of changed. So in the general sense, with Under Reality, we help those bigger corporations and brands to really set the first step in the Metaverse. Today, we're going to be talking a bit about AI and Web3. And mostly what I would like to do is to do a bit of explanation on what is it, what are the key pointers in there, why is it there? And then from there onwards, get those specific examples just to see what is it. So we can talk, for example, about neural language processing, but most of the people don't really know what it is yet. So to just give a specific example there. Let me see. So first, the introduction, then a comparison. What is Metaverse and Web3? So in general sense, often these terms are intertwined. People don't know the difference. So small elaboration on that. Then AI and the Metaverse. So as we see it today. And then, of course, the most important one, are there risks in the Metaverse with AI or Web3? Would definitely say so that they are, but let's discuss it later. And first, we kick off with one of the co-founders of Under Reality, Andy. Can you hear the sound?
No, we cannot, but...
That's a shame. It's about the sound. It's blocked. That's a shame. Okay. This is Andy. So...
Maybe we could follow through the subtitles, if you don't mind. Maybe we could follow through the subtitles.
Yeah, I will elaborate anyhow. So this is Andy, and this is actually a digital copy of Andy, meaning we put Andy in front of the camera for around, I think, 5 minutes. Did a few shots in different angles. And the really interesting thing to see here is that a lot of people can't really find the difference if this is the real Andy or not. We also sent it to his mom, which actually thought it was the real Andy. The thing is, a bit of AI and of course Metaverse or Digital does are helping Andy to speak, to mimic him, to really get those like glance in his eyes. But besides that part, Andy can now speak in 65 languages. He's now speaking Spanish. We can clone his voice, but we can also give him a different voice. We can go as far as we like. And this is all possible with a bit of AI, a bit of camera, so a bit of hardware and a bit of AI. Let me see. So Web3 and the Metaverse itself. So Web3 in general is a term that's been defined, mostly in the last few months. It's been around for a bit, but it really goes to the new internet or the new form of internet. And one of those key pillars in there is the Metaverse. The Metaverse and Web3 are actually different, but Metaverse is part of Web3. So it's one of those pillars within Web3. And the Metaverse itself has actually been around since 1992. A lot of people think it's been around for the last year, which is definitely not the case. It's been in a book, Snow Crash. Maybe some of you know it. And in this book, a pizza delivery guy was sick of his life, his horrible, boring life, and he went online in those always-on worlds where he wanted to escape from the real life. And this is the key difference. So we have the Metaverse, and then the Metaverse is digital world that's always on, that's always there, doesn't really stop. And then we have blockchain technique to support the Metaverse, and blockchain is part of Web3. So simply put, Metaverse and Web3 are different, and they're just pillars in. And so we've all seen this for us in the company itself, it changed a huge deal. I think after this small pitch of Zuckerberg changing his name to Meta, we got, I think, a few hundred requests in one night in the inbox. It changed the course of AI. It changed the course of hardware such as glasses. It changed the course of living online, working online, really representing online. So I think in general sense, this will be one of those key things that's going to be remembered in history, changing the course of the industry. And maybe you guys know this one, because often it's still guessing in the metaverse and Web3 is something really there, is something really worth it. Is there plagiarism, yes or no? So likely you're asking yourself, why are you showing me a few pixels if you don't know it? If you do know it, you likely know what it's worth. So likely a good thing to think how much this could be worth. I'm going to tell you in a bit. It's actually worth $23.7 million. And why I'm showing this is simply because a lot of people, I would say until a year back, didn't even know about NFTs, didn't even know about Web3, didn't even know about the metaverse. They didn't know that it was worth anything. At the moment, there's a tremendous market value going on. So brands are getting into it, banks are going into it, governments are looking into it, such as the Dubai government, for example. And they really, really look into it. How can we get those use cases up and rolling? This is, for example, NFT art. So it's not a real use case. It's simply some art based on a blockchain technique. And still that's already worth 23.7 million. So imagine having this, but then with a specific use case that actually solves problem. For example, stuff that's now on the rise is also part of Web3 is, for example, a blockchain bank or blockchain custodians that are going to be storing and safeguarding your wallet, because also in the space, there's still a lot of theft. There's still a lot of hacks. So a lot of people are also losing their value because they are not secured yet. So difference. Metaverse is interconnected world. It's a social construct. We've seen this. We've seen this quite often, that those communities grow bigger, and actually you got these self-steering communities of millions of people who are talking about a project, or talking about a company, or giving input to that. So also a change of doing marketing for brands is changing because of AI, because of Web3, changing in those really user-generated, user-influenced content, and of course, large amount of users around the world. This is one of those tricky points. We say that there within Web3 and AI, there's already a lot of users on a daily basis. If we look at, for example, one of the biggest Web3 platforms out there, Decentraland, it's having 400 users a day with just 30 purchases, meaning it's actually still quite small. The valuation is over $1 billion. So the funny thing is the technique worth that much? That's the big question at the moment that's going on. So are we paying for technique? Are we paying for innovation? Are we paying for social construct, disruption? That's the real question there. So what are the main characteristics of the space itself? So Web3, is quite broad. This goes from a bit of AI to deep learning is considered to it. The gateways are AR, VR, blockchain, smart contracts. So what are the key characteristics in it? First of all, it is limitless. As long as we got computers, we can have no real boundaries, only the virtual and hardware boundaries that we know. It's always on, so you can always access the blockchain, you can always access the metaverse, you can go there whenever you like, even after you leave or you don't access this, it's still there. The copy is always there, it's always online, it never fades. In general, the part with Web3 is that it's, and of course AI, that it's becoming more immersive. You got those robots that are now, for example, from Tesla, that are going to be living in your own house. They're going to be interacting with you. You got those VR, AR goggles that are coming up. For example, the Meta Quest Pro. You can access it, you can experience it, and you can actually be at home while doing, for example, learning how to kite surf, or learning how to drum, learning how to play a piano. Decentralized is one of the biggest key pillars in there. So it's all based on the blockchain. So it's decentralized in its core. The funny thing is, having said that, the decentralization was there at the beginning, but at the moment we have governments coming in, we have the banks coming in. So we have crypto banks, crypto custodians. And yeah, the funny thing is that they are again, re-regulating the whole space, meaning you have this decentralized nature, which is actually getting regulated, and because of that, it's getting centralized again. So the thing is, you get the old structure with a new technique, actually. Then, of course, it's an economic system. So Web3 is often considered as an economic system. And AI is greatly participating in that, because of AI, you can now walk around in certain universes. You can teach yourself stuff at home. There are a lot of new business models based purely on a bit of AI, meaning it's a really, really interesting space to be in right now. And also it generates a lot of opportunity to also, for example, automate stuff. So on the one side, get less people in your company and automate stuff. On the other side, generate new revenue streams and get new roles open again for those new Web3 AI-based solutions. Then the social contract, of course, key pillar. A lot in Web3 is social. It's based on user interaction, user communicating with each other. Actually, there's no old school marketing left there. So what technologies does it consist of? So in general sense, we have XR, and XR, or blended reality, extended reality, is that we say we're going to be, for example, wearing an AR glass, and this is going to be extending our current reality, meaning I'm going to be walking around the city. I don't know where to go. Then I whisper to my Siri saying, hey, you know what? Let's open Google Maps and navigate me to whatever street or to my favorite dinner place. And then within your glass, and at some point, maybe even in your lens, it's going to be showing those like arrows where you should walk, where you should go. It could definitely even give you like a tour around the city. So extended reality is a bit of extra reality there. And this goes from VR, AR to 3D. And for example, the digital Andy or digital avatar we saw at the beginning. Then we have blockchain. Blockchain is also, again, one of the core founding principles. And this goes from smart contracts, so digital contracts, that executes on a certain set of rules, digital land, non-fungible tokens, or NFTs as we know it. And of course, most important one there, AI. And this goes really, really, really broad. We've just seen like a large presentation on it. It can go from computer vision to natural language processing. It can even go that far that people are just sitting opposite to each other and can directly speak to each other in different languages. So the AI is that fast and it can understand that much already. So it's getting more smart, it's getting more intuitive. That you could actually go to China, for example, speak English, speak Dutch or whatever, and it directly translates it for you, picks up the words and translates it back again. So you could walk there without knowing the language. So how's it built up? General, this is what we know, the foundation layer, the World Wide Web or the internet. Then we have one that's in major construction at the moment, the infrastructure layer. This has often been those, I call it legacy gateways, laptops, phones, iPads, the gateways as we know it. But at the moment, we have a lot of new developments with glasses, VR, AR, new minting facilities. For example, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Apple are all developing those new AR, VR glasses and also releasing them quite soon. From then onwards, we have the content layer. So this is often where you enter. This can be a game. This can be a world. This can be whatever you like. And the funny thing is, you don't just enter a world, and that's going to be like the true metaverse experience or the true virtual experience. You don't just enter a world as a character. The glasses or the infrastructure layer is getting this smart at this point that they can actually track your eyes really easily. They can see your muscle movements, like just the tiny small ones, and they can directly mimic this on your avatar. So also the hardware is getting more and more powerful and is really, really replicating your environment, replicating your behavior and everything you do. So what is Web3 in the general sense? There's a lot of definitions out there, but we say it's the next generation of the internet on the blockchain, and then greatly involving both ownership and decentralization. And decentralization in a form that is decentralized on a blockchain, which no one really owns at this point. And of course, ownership in the form that you can own your own data again. You can decide if it's shared, yes or no. You own the wallet. You can say if you're going to be sharing your name. At the moment, we know a lot of those big corporates like a Meta, Facebook, Google, whatever, that's actually own your data. They almost know you better than you do. In Web3, this would be the opposite. At least that would be the core of it. You can decide if you're going to give it yes or no, and you will likely be rewarded if you do. So, yeah, maybe you know Netscape. I'm actually too young to still remember it. So I've heard it in my team that this was like a big thing back then. In Web 1, we see, for example, a Netscape. It was a really like read-only internet. So you receive information. A lot of companies were trying to get into the space, trying to understand it, but don't really saw the relevance of it yet. I still remember one of those articles, I think was 1999 of the New York Times saying the internet has failed. That's one of those, really funny thing that always happens when there's innovation. There are few people are really, really hesitant to it and don't believe it. So what we see in Web 1, Netscape, the read-only internet. Then we go to Web 2. And this is like the read and write internet. People are going to be interacting with each other, the platform economy. They're going to be posting what they're doing. They're going to be offering the house in Airbnb, or they're going to be a taxi driver for other people. Simply put, social interaction via platforms. And then we go to Web 3, which is a completely different space because it's AI-driven, decentralized, and it's based on a real computing infrastructure. People are staying more at home. So, of course, Corona helped a lot with that. But what you see is that all the hardware around it, all the avatars in there are going to be better, going to be more realistic. They're going to be intuitive. They're going to be helping you out. They're going to be translating speech. So you see this really AI-driven environment there. So to compare it, Web 1, read-only internet and information economy. Then after that, we went to this tremendous amount of work with a platform economy, read and write internet. And at this point, we're going to the token economy, read, write, and own the internet. So for example, I'm a music artist, and I'm going to be selling the licenses of my new track that's coming out in an NFT. You see a lot of people now sharing a bit of their music, a bit of their art, a bit of their creative, whatever. Simply put, you can read, write, and own the internet, and owning there is the most important part. So once more, compare it, and then we go into a few more specific examples. What is AI and why is it in Web3? So metaverse is how users will experience the internet of the future, and the experience is a 3D part, which is enabled by both AI and stronger hardware. Then we have Web3 in general, so blockchain technology and ownership of the internet, and it can be with smart contracts, NFTs. Simply put, it's wallet-based, and you own what you do. So AI and the metaverse. There are a lot of cool examples in AI and the metaverse.
Dylan, sorry for interrupting, but could you come to the conclusion within a minute or two? Our time is up.
Yeah. Yes, then I will do it quick. So there are a lot of cool examples there. Then we're just gonna go through it. So one is auto-generated content, language processing, digital humors, and then language processing in combination with XR. And I hope the sound works.
Bear playing bass or robot painted like a Picasso? Didn't think so. DALL-E 2 is a new AI system from OpenAI that can take simple text descriptions like a koala dunking a basketball and turn them into photorealistic images that have never existed before. DALL-E 2 can also realistically edit and retouch photos based on a simple natural language description.
This is one of those examples within AI and Web3. You can simply say a few words like cute cat and it changes your dog into a cat.
It can fill in or replace part of an image with AI-generated imagery that
And the data, again, is not real. It's purely generated by those smart AI principles that are helping with that.
Have you ever seen a polar bear playing?
Go to the next slide. Then another really interesting one, maybe you've seen it already, is text-to-speech and the other way around.
All right, so our team developed the first speech-to-speech AI translation system that works for languages that are only spoken and not written, like Hokkien. Pengjen, who's one of the researchers on this project, is here to give us a demo.
你好 ，Mark。你敢知影咱嘅團隊打造第一個支持口技語言嘅翻譯系統？
Hi, Mark. Do you know that our team created the first translation system to support a spoken language?
Yeah, this is great.
And this is one of those examples of speaking in another language and directly getting translation in your ear. Even languages that are not there anymore, with AI, we can now directly translate it and can directly listen to it. So actually revamp an old language that wouldn't even be there anymore.
All right, so our team developed...
We have the last... how long do I still have?
Sorry?
How long do I still have there?
We don't have... Our time is up, Dylan.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we have to go to the lunch break.
Okay, then keep it short. Maybe the last thing. So are there risks in Web3 and AI? Simply put, yes. At the moment, this stage is really, really early on. We've seen this with a lot of Ronin hacks, a lot of people losing value, being copied and being, for example, Elon Musk was copied and promoting a company which generated a lot of sales, of course, but a lot of IP rights scandals. So at the moment, there's still a lot of risk. The space is young. Simply put, it should be taken up with some caution because it's not in a maturity stage in which all brands or companies could directly integrate it and use it. And then I will stop it there.
Thank you so much, Dylan, for this nice overview of the basic concepts, foundational concepts behind Metaverse and Web3.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.